versatile he is. Yeah, I would not worry about playing time at all. But I mean, if I had to guess, just based on what I know about him, I think you could like 10 home runs and, I think 5 steals probably that you've got protected here. Mike's about right. I mean, if you got a 270 average with 10 home runs, I think that's a success at his draft spot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially if it's someone that it's on the back of your roster that you're just kind of cycling in to fill gaps here and there. Yeah. For sure.
Yep. So there's some names here. Like this is an interesting. This is an interest. There are a lot of, you can't really go wrong with a lot of the players here. And if we were just talking about somebody I liked, it would be Ahmed Rosario. But I feel at his ADP, which is just outside the top 200, he's appropriately priced, especially given the playing time risk. Samuel talked about Elvis Andrus last week. I'm more intrigued by him now with the trade to the A's. If you go through that 162 game seasonal average with Andrus, I dig the fact you're looking at 9 home runs, 23 steals, and a 248 average. Yes, kind of the poor man's version of Mondesi, and that he's not a very good baseball player, perhaps, but that 10-25 fantasy perspective makes him intriguing. But the player I'm going with here is Andrelton Simmons. Simmons is someone I think he's kind of gotten forgotten a little bit, and we think about him as a defensive player. But if you look back, going back to 2016 through 2020, over the last 5 years, and you do a seasonal average or you do 162 game average, 11 home runs, 15 steals, and more importantly, a 282 average. He's just a grinder in deeper leagues. He's just somebody who's going to produce. And if he's healthy, he wasn't healthy in 2019 or 2020, but if he's healthy, there's incentive to keep him on the field because the guy is an amazing defender. And yeah, this is a deep league special. You can't really expect too much out of him, but I just like players like this who very quietly produce. I can get them for a pretty cheap price. I don't have to think very much about them in my L only or deep mixed league, and I know I'm going to get something attached to a good or very good batting average out of the players. So I'm going with Simmons, and additionally, I like him in that Twins lineup. I think that's going to help him a little bit in the counting categories as well.
Kind of reminds me of some of the things we were saying about Starlin Castro during second base week. I mean, I think Castro's probably going to give you more raw numbers, but Simmons is, he's always had a good average, and I think he's off a lot of people's radar because he opted out of the 2020 season.
Yeah,
but I like him, and I gotta say I like Andrus going to Oakland. Like I think maybe it's as simple as obviously the skills aren't what they were a few years ago, but the change of scenery thing I think is possibly a good thing for Andrus, and he's definitely going to play as much as he can play there because they got crap all else at shortstop. So
yeah, I think Chad Pinder was the guy at the top of the depth chart.
Yeah, not a shortstop.
I was gonna say I like Pinder at second. I still think he might be a sleeper there because I think Tony Kemp is at the top of their depth chart at second. But yeah, Chad Pinder at shortstop defensively would have been rough to watch.
Let me offer one word of warning for Elvis, not playing time wise. His power was just okay at the new ballpark when the limited experience that they had in it for last season, and now he's going to an aircraft hangar for 81 games. Yeah. Now, obviously, he's got Mike, you mentioned the potential steals, the average, and that sort of thing. Like if you're betting on like the Elvis of like 2017, 2018 when he was hitting like double-digit home runs. Or 2019, I guess, too, would kind of in that little 3-year window, I would project lower because even in like a more pitcher neutral / even like slightly pitcher favorable park, he was struggling to find the seats at times. So, yeah. I mean, it could be that like he loves to hit at the Coliseum. I don't honestly know. Like, who really knows what 2021 is going to bring us? But I would temper expectations down and be pleasantly surprised based on what I've seen over the at the new shed.
Yeah, I think that 2017 is the clear outlier, and yeah, if he hits like I'd say 7 to 8 home runs, that's probably going to be on the high end.
Yeah,
you're drafting him for the steals, like that's kind of why you're steals, and you're hoping the average is decent. he might not hit 300 again, or he won't hit 300 again. But if he can hit 260 and steal a bunch of bases at, where he's going, I think that's what you're hoping for. All right. Do we have anything else about shortstops before we close the show?
Can we just get a head start on catcher week?
No.
Oh my God. We're gonna have to plan that one out, because it's either gonna be a 30-minute podcast or we're gonna just wind up moaning and complaining for an hour.
We could just not do it. Like that's been my suggestion for a couple weeks now.
Well, we usually do that with relievers, so we can't.
We could do it with both. I'm an open-minded kind of guy.
We can't do it twice.
Why don't we just combine relievers and catchers?
John, we could talk about our score sheet league next week. That'd be super exciting.
They will line up to hear that.
Hey, we could do a TGFBI mock live on the podcast. We could just see if we could get 15 people in here to mock out a TGFBI mock draft. I bet people would love that even more.
I think the listeners love it when we have production meetings on air.
On air? Well, Samuel can cut this out if he...
I'm not going to cut this out.
Thank you once again for listening to episode 251 of Flags Fly Forever, a fantasy baseball prospectus podcast. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not doing so already. There are 20 articles a week or so up on the fantasy side, including John's State of the Position, my ADP article, my tiers article, but there's so much more than that. Please order the Baseball Prospectus Annual if you've not done so already. And as it reminds you on the site, and as I reminded you last week, the Sabre Award voting is live. Vote now. Some great names at BP, but even if you do not want to vote for your favorite BP authors, there are some other wonderful articles as well. It's just important that you vote. We'll be moving on to catchers next week. Please do join us. I know we make it sound depressing, but it's not all that bad. That should.
I'm gonna wear a costume for catcher weeks to make it that much more fun.
I thought you were going to say condom, and I was like, this is a family show.
Maybe that too.
Maybe that too. So on that wonderful note, for
hell's happening right now?
Mike Janella, John Hagelin, Samuel Hale, and the condom that John is going to wear next week.
Good God.
We'll see you next week. Good night.
Bye now.
I apologize for all that. Bye, y'all.
Hi, I'm Randy, and this is Dave.
We're the founders of Bombas, the most comfortable socks in the history of feet.
So comfortable, we sold and donated millions of pairs.
To sell and donate a lot of socks, we became obsessed with comfort.
We reinvented the sock from the ground up, adding comfort innovations along the way.
It worked. People tried them, loved them, told their friends about them.
Helping us sell and donate millions of pairs.
Try them now at bombas.com/comfy and get 20% off your first order. That's bombas.com/comfy.
Children's National Hospital in Washington, D.C. improves children's health by developing better treatments and technologies. As one of the top children's hospitals in the nation, we take on the most complex, rare, and life-threatening conditions because all children deserve a healthy future. And with our new pediatric-focused research and innovation campus opening this spring, we'll be able to generate and share even more discoveries. Learn more at childrensnational.org/innovation.